Hello there, and welcome back to Midlife Crisis. I'm Cheryl. I am I went to help out with my granddaughter and picked up a really serious cold. I even thought it was COVID. Ran and took a COVID test. That's how bad it was, but it was negative, thank God. I did this taping, but I had to do it again. It was really stuffy in the previous one. Feel a little better today, so I thought, let me just do it over. We are approaching the Labor Day weekend. That came in 2 seconds it was here. The summer is done with. I'm not crazy about the cold weather, but what you gonna do? Today I'd like to talk about having self-control. I've been talking about controlling emotions for a while now, but today I'd like to talk seriously about having self-control. Okay, so don't go away. So we all have the power to control, whether it's ourselves or someone else. We all have the power to control. The problem is what we do with that power. And I'm just going to try to keep this simple, because when I talk about having emotional intelligence, just to have an understanding on what that is, it's basically to have an understanding of one's emotions, the emotions of others, and then using that knowledge to act accordingly. A lot of us are going through life without even knowing what this thing is. I just want to touch base with this a little bit, because when I talk about having, emotional intelligence, and that is to control one's emotions, I'm basically talking about understanding what's your drive, what makes you tick, so to speak. Because if you understand that, then you can keep things under control. You can decide exactly how much you're going to put into things. Control your environment in the sense where you will understand what you need, what makes you happy. When you understand that, then you will save a lot of discomfort, not for anyone else, but for yourself, which is why I cover this stuff. It's always good to try and work on yourself and understand who you are as an individual, because again, once you understand that, you can control your emotions, and you will, because you have a good understanding on what's right and what's wrong, what's good for you and what's not, why someone does what they do, and the things that you say and do, how you offend others, that kind of thing. When you have that skill, it helps a lot of inner pain, because a lot of us are sensitive to ourselves, but we are not when coming to the other person. And that is why I want to talk about this, because it is very important to understand how you come across to others, why you do what you do, and that would help certain things from happening, things from going awry, because this stuff that I'm talking about makes us self-sabotage. And a lot of us don't realize that it's happening because we're walking around life doing the robotic thing. We've never taken time to understand self, and you have to do that. That's very important. It's important for relationships, friendships, partnerships, marriages. It's just very important. It helps with communication. It helps with understanding. And if you don't grasp this and you mature in this oblivious way, which more than 50% of us are doing, then you are going to experience negative emotions. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about items such as competition, envy and jealousy, hate, vindictiveness, possessiveness, lust, insecurity. These are all items that spring off from when one does not understand self. And it's so many of us that's doing this. I'm one that will pay attention to that stuff. I have grown within myself. I am in my midlife years, and chances are, if you're on this channel, you are too. How much have you grown? Are you just growing older, or advancing in age, if you will, and not, maturing, not growing? Because a lot of us have gotten to this stage where we are in our midlife years and almost approaching our golden years, and we're still doing the robotic thing. How reckless is that? So I'm just saying, A lot of times we have that power, there's that word again, where we are in control of something, and what we're doing with that control and that power is not positive. And so things begin to go awry. In order to find your happiness, because that's what we're talking about here, your peace, your happiness, you have got to be in some form of control, and it starts with self. I didn't make it to the park today. The sun is starting to go down. It's still beautiful though. But, as what I'm saying here is, we have the power to control. We all do. The problem is where we put that attention. The power is in our hands to do the right thing, and a lot of us are putting that power in the wrong place. We are thinking to control everything else except for ourselves. That's where the destruction comes in. Before you start trying to control anything else, it's important to be able to control oneself, because then you're talking about being able to be in control in terms of getting out of hand with envy and jealousy, competition, vindictiveness, drugs and alcohol. I mean, it's just a long scope of items. And when you're able to put yourself under control, then it's a free ride home. Because then you can pretty much have things under control with almost everything that you're dealing with. So this stuff it's super important. A lot of us are self-destructive because of that lack of control. Okay, so it's extremely important to start trying to control one's emotions, having self-control. And at the end of the day, we're all looking for that peace, that happiness, harmony, love, good health, and all that other good stuff that we need to be able to flourish in our midlife all the way, God's willing, to the golden years. All right, check us out at midliferises.com. It's supposed to be a whole bunch of excitement this weekend. I don't know how much involvement I'll be doing because I'm still trying to pull myself together here with this cold. But whatever you do, have a safe and happy one. Okay, and we will see you next time. Take care.